Okay, we have another subscription box from CyberCityCiruits. Let's see what they've put in here this month for us. Got another sticker. Thank you card. We have another resistor color code card. These are nice to have. You can tell your resistor values by looking at these. Unless you're colorblind like me, it doesn't really help very much. And we have our package. Let's pour out all of our goodies here. Looks like we have a voice recorder kit. Go to the website here and get some detailed instructions from them. There's our detailed parts list and pictures of the board here. We get a speaker, a microphone, an IC and a socket for it, battery holder with a battery, our printed circuit board, which is made with quality just like normal. We have electrolytic capacitors, some resistors here, a couple more push button switches, an LED, and some more small capacitors. Alright, let's take a look at this circuit board to see if we need to go to any schematics. Everything's printed and looks like it's laid out pretty good for us, so yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issues putting this together. And you know me, I really love putting these kits together. It's real calming for me. Also, anybody that's new to doing this hobby, it's a good way to learn about circuits. Let's cut our iron on here and get it heated up. Anybody is new to this and they want to start putting circuits together or just learn about circuits, designing circuits, and they want to do it as a hobby, this is actually a really cheap hobby to get into to start with. You don't really need much tools. First of all, education is free. You just go on YouTube and tons of people doing instruction videos on this. You don't have to have a lot of expensive equipment. You don't need an oscilloscope. You really don't. You don't need a solder station. You can buy one of these cheap soldering irons. I would advise getting one that's probably about 60 watts. You can get one of these on eBay or Amazon. A whole kit. It's going to come with a holder for it. You'll get some solder. You'll get a solder sucker, one of these cheap ones. They're probably going to be $10 for the whole kit. And that's all you need really to get started soldering. Cheap pair of side cutters is helpful. And a multimeter. If you have a Harbor Freight nearby, you can sign up at their website and they'll send you a flyer out, or they'll email it to you. And they give these cheap multimeters away for free, and I always pick them up. I just use them to check current, especially a certain amounts of current. I'd rather burn this thing up than a decent multimeter. But other than that, you really don't need too much. If you want to start putting these kits together, you go to CyberCityCiruits, order their kits, get the monthly subscription. It's $12 a month. Just start soldering. There's tons of videos on YouTube to teach people how to do this. Okay, when you start building a circuit like this, the first thing you want to do is add the components that are closest to the circuit board. And we're going to start off with our resistors here, and we look on the legend and it tells us exactly which resistor and where it goes. We're going to do the 1Ks. And stick them in and fold the legs out like that. Then we're going to put our 4.7Ks in, and then we have the 100,000K right there. Okay, now we have our resistors in. Resistors, they're non-polarized, so you can put them in either or way. It doesn't matter. All right, whenever you're soldering something, you want to heat your pad and your lead up, and then melt your solder on. Okay, when you're done with that, you just take your side cutters and trim your excess off. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our ceramic capacitors. They're all the same value. You got one here, here, and looks like one there, so there's 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, and ceramic capacitors are also non-polarized, so you can put them any way you want to. And put those in, flare them back, and we'll solder those in. And next we're going to put our socket in, and the socket is actually marked to let you know which way it goes in. You have a little divot here, and if you look, there is a divot here, so you're just going to line those two up. Stick it in. What I normally do is tack the two corners down, and then I come by and then solder the rows in. Okay, now we're going to put our switches in. And if you have trouble with them sticking in, sometimes you can just bend the prongs over Just put a little tension on it and they'll help stay over. Okay, next we're going to put our electrolytic capacitors in. On electrolytic capacitors, they are polarized. You have two leads coming out. One is a long lead, the other one is a short lead. The long lead is the anode, and the short lead is the cathode. The long lead is the positive, the short lead is the negative. You also have a stripe painted down the side that'll let you know that it's negative. And then you'll have the information printed onto the side of the capacitor to let you know what the value is. And this is a 47 microfarad at 35 volts. So now we're going to look on the board and see where this goes. Alright, and we see here this capacitor goes here. It's in this side right here. The white painted is going to be our negative side, so we're going to put it in this way. If I can see what I'm doing. We're going to put our other one in. Flare our legs out and then solder them in. Okay, on these capacitors here, the pads are real close together, so we're going to inspect after a solder to look for bridges to see if everything's okay on it. And I don't see where it is bridged anywhere, and we're just going to trim it up and move on to the next component. Okay, now we're going to put in our diode, or the LED, and the LED is polarized. It's just like the electrolytic capacitor. The longer lead here is going to be your positive, that's your anode, and the shorter lead is the cathode, that's going to be the negative. Also on some LEDs there'll be a flat side, and that'll be the cathode side. So set this in and solder her up. And trim her up. Alright, now we're going to decide, probably going to put the battery holder in next. Alright, most of these are set so you can only put them in one way, or it won't match up with the graphics or with the legend printed on it. See, it won't fit in this way, so it obviously goes in this way. Now we'll move on. Our speaker is marked, we have positive, negative, so put that in the right direction. And then we have our microphone. And if you look on the microphone right here, if you match it up with the legend that's printed on the circuit board, it fits in this way. Alright, so then we'll go flip those over and solder those up. Okay, now we're going to install our IC. And if you remember on our socket here, we had the little dip marked in. Here on our IC, there is also a little mark here. We just line those two up. You want to line the pins up and then apply a little pressure on it, and it should snap into place. Be sure while you're pressing it in that your pins are going in. They're not going in crooked or bent. And it should pop and snap in place like that. Okay, once you are done soldering, a good practice is to get you some alcohol. Usually you can use the 70%. Stuff works pretty good. I wouldn't go any lower than that. There's a lot of water in it. Takes it forever to dry. Also causes corrosion on your board. This stuff here is 99%. So just come in and just clean it up and get all the old flux and stuff off of it. And we're going to let it dry. Alright, we got the battery in. And here is the magic moment. Let's see if we put it together correctly. Go Georgia Bulldogs! Well, there you have it, another fine kit from CyberCityCiruits. Absolutely no issues with it. Everything I've gotten from them so far has been quality. I'm actually very interested in this IC chip. I'm going to probably pull it out and do some research on it and piddle around with it. I think I could use that in some projects and stuff. If you like this video, remember to hit the thumbs up. Also, I need some subscribers, so definitely subscribe and give me some love. Oh, and this weekend starts the real football season down south, the SEC football, and go Dogs.